It's time again, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. It's time we are honest again. It's time for the truth bomb. It's time that we start talking about the truth about Mason Mount. Very few have gone into this particular region worried about the repercussion. It's not an easy topic to talk about, but I think it's time we talked about this.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
Welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another Truth Bomb episode. We are definitely going to talk about Mason Mount in detail. I think, as I said, it's time. It is time to talk about this. We've been shying away. I have to admit, we've been shying away talking about this particular topic because we're worried how we're going to be portrayed in social media across to other fans and whatnot. We so easily criticize all these other players, but we shy away from Mason Mount. And I think it's time to be honest about it. Look, we're not only going to talk about Mason Mount in this particular episode of the Truth Bomb. We will talk about Kepa and Malang Sarr once again. You know, the whole Kepa situation back in Frank Lampard time. We need to explore. And we need to talk about the truth about the whole situation. I don't think some of the insults he copped during that time is justified. Malang Sarr is always doing a bit of a madness. We need to talk about this. But first, Mason Mount, ladies and gentlemen. Mason Mount, look, he's a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good player. He's got some very, very good attributes, skill set. Of course, he's been scoring, quite a bit in recent times. Assist as well. A lot of the assists has been coming through corners, let's be honest. Corners or free kicks, or very few that have come from open play. There have been some, obviously. But I've not been a massive fan of his overall game. And it's not even about the last few games. He's been, that overall package of his game has not been there probably the entirety of this season. We're now in January. Yes, he played in the Euros. Might have been a bit tired in the beginning stages, but the few things I wish Mason Mount had. He's been playing as an inside forward for us in the front three when we were playing the back three with the wing backs, formation and style. In that inside forward, it suits him. Of course it does. It's more of a box to box. He can work through the channel. And he's a number 8 genuinely. And we'll get to the 4-2-2-2 situation where I don't think it's really suited for him. But going back to this 3 wing backs play inside forward, it suited him because he could be box to box. And, most times he got the best out of it. He was starting to score. Well, we've seen this season, he's been scoring quite a bit of goals. Some very nice goals as well. But I feel like even in that position, I don't see enough creativity. You feel like that particular position requires some level of creativity, some level of final third decision-making skill. I'm not going to say he fails in final third all the time. No, he has that in his locker, but he doesn't seem to have it regularly. I feel like someone who's playing in that inside sort of forward role from the striker, you need to have a lot of creativity. You need to be able to pull out big time passes on a regular basis for Chelsea Football Club. We're talking about Chelsea Football Club, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be extraordinary when it comes to attack. We're not there yet. It's because I feel some of the personnel are just not creative enough. Mason Mount, yes, great at pressing, great at having the energy. He's got that engine, but there's been so many times in the final third he makes the wrong decision. When he's meant to pass, he doesn't pass. When he passes, he probably should have taken on. he doesn't really have the blistering pace either to play as an inside forward up front. Let's be honest, he's not supremely quick. It's not like he's going to be able to go 1v1 and beat someone. And in recent times, his impact in the game not been that evident. And I don't want to sit here and say, be one of those fans that, without Mason Mount, we don't play good, we don't press well enough. Pressing is a unit thing. It doesn't come from one player. I understand he probably leads the press at times, but I've seen other players press recently as well. I've seen Ziyech press very well. Pulisic at times does a job. Kovacic presses well. Havertz does a very good job too. There are times where I feel Mason Mount probably doesn't deserve to start, but he still starts. And that's fine. Thomas Tuchel believes in him. In recent times, we've had injuries. We've had many players testing positive, so he had to play. But there are times where I feel like, some other players may deserve those minutes a little bit more at the moment. His link up with some of the players I don't think is great. At times, he's not zippy enough. I don't see him enough 1-2s with players, getting out of a situation. We play a possession-based football. I need him to be very alert with the passing. Look at the way Jorginho and Kovacic links up to, squeeze through a situation. Even his shooting, yes, it is very good. But it's not like he balls out with his shooting technique every single game. Sometimes that lets him down as well. But it's that decision making. I don't see him. I expect someone like Mason Mount in that particular position to come up with big time passes on a regular basis. And please, ladies and gentlemen, don't throw stats at me, that. There'll be so many people throwing stats at me right now saying, Miz, have a look at the key passes. Watch the game, ladies and gentlemen. Watch the game. Now with the 4-2-2-2, now that he's having to play wide, he's simply not the guy. He is not a wide player that Thomas Tuchel needs in this formation, in this style. He needs someone who's going to be electric with their pace, be able to beat players 1v1. Against Spurs in that second leg for the Carabao Cup, I didn't see Mason Mount at all. Now, a lot of people can say it's fatigue, it's this, it's that. But please have a look at some of his recent games. Probably in the last 2 to 3 months, as I said, almost the entirety of this particular, even when he was scoring goals. West Ham, Everton, a few other matches as well in between. His overall package was not good. I need Mason Mount to really focus on what he's going to bring to Chelsea Football Club, because we need more than just pressing and energy. We need more than just that. Pressing and energy should be a given. It shouldn't be something that we sit here and applaud a particular player. That pressing and energy is a given at Chelsea Football Club. If you're not doing the fundamentals, then, my man, you are not meant to be here. Pressing and energy is a given. I need Mason Mount to start thinking, how can I get more key passes? How can I be a little bit more quicker with my play? That's something Mason needs to think about. I've not been utterly impressed with his gameplay this season. And I feel like he's such a protected commodity in the fan base that a lot of the YouTube content makers and just general public are very scared to talk about him because they feel like they're going to get abused, they're going to get insulted. I've copped it. Anytime I've remotely said anything negative about Mason Mount, I've copped it. I don't think that's fair. We don't get that same treatment when we talk about XYZ players. Why does it happen when we talk about Mason Mount? And it's not like I'm absolutely going out there and talking a whole heap of rubbish about him. These are proper objective talk here about Mason, and I still believe he's a top player and he can still develop. He's young. But I think the truth needs to be said about him. We need to be honest where he needs to develop as a player, as a top caliber player for Chelsea. Many compare him to Frank Lampard. I swear that burns me. Frank Lampard was doing mad. He was doing some madness when Frank Lampard was producing 20 assists sometimes, man. 20 goals, 15 assists, some mad stats for like 4 or 5 seasons straight. Some of the assists Frank Lampard, some of the passings he was doing was out of the world. No. Let me know what your thoughts are, ladies and gentlemen, about the Mason Mount situation. Kepa. Need to talk about Kepa now. Last season, he was made to look like a fool. And I said it, look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and lie. There were times where I've been mad at Kepa as well last season. I'm not going to lie. But I've always said that I don't think it's completely just Kepa's fault. I don't think it's just completely Kepa's fault. I had a feeling defensive structure had a big part to play in this situation. Kepa this season has somewhere around 83% save percentage. Last season was something around like 60 or 53 or something like that. It has to be, and under Thomas Tuchel, he's looked phenomenal. It's got to be the defensive structure. Under Frank Lampard, there was no defensive structure. There was no defensive ideology. How are we actually going to defend off the ball? We were blaming defenders. Christensen wasn't good. Rudiger wasn't good. Every time we'd get crosses, we'd be letting in goals. It's about having a defensive structure. It's about having a plan as to how you want to defend. And this is what Thomas Tuchel's doing now, or has been doing for the past 12 months since he's taken over. It's not a coincidence that we've gone from shambolic defending under Frank Lampard to near perfect defending under Thomas Tuchel, to the point where in the Champions League, we only allowed 4 goals last season. We've become one of the strongest teams defensively in Europe. I'm not surprised that, Kepa's doing well, because he's got a defense that's doing well, and then whatever happens after that, he's taken care of. He has been immense. Every time Kepa's played under Thomas Tuchel, predominantly has been immense. I'm not going to sit here and lie. There are deficiencies, yes. Long-range shots can catch him out at times, but I do want to question at times, why are we allowing the opposition with long-range? Why aren't we closing that down? Since Thomas Tuchel has taken over, how many times did we get beaten from a long range? Besides, the one that I can only remember off the back of my mind very vividly is the FA Cup final, Tielemans against Kepa. Besides that, I don't recall too many long range shots, because we're better defensively. We close things down. Kepa honestly copped a lot of insults. And yes, there was a lot of personal issues as well that Kepa went through that must have bothered him. But the way Frank handled that situation with Kepa, I don't think it was good. Once again, let me know what your thoughts are about Kepa. Lastly, I want to talk about Malang Sarr. My days. I have to show this to you guys. Look at this. Simon Phillips, this is what Thomas Tuchel said about Malang Sarr. He can play fullback like he did today, in a line with a wide player in front of him. He can play centre back or left position in the back 3. At the moment, he deserves to play. He has played well when he was needed. It's true. In recent times when Malang Sarr has been playing, Spurs, Chesterfield, this one, Chesterfield, a little bit iffy here and there, but especially Spurs, these 2 legs. I think Brentford as well, previously in the Carabao Cup, the match before this. He's been good. And I'm not surprised that Thomas Tuchel is using him on the left side. He can play the left side. Could he be a solution? It's mad how Thomas Tuchel's finding solutions like this. The board sometimes could probably blame Thomas Tuchel that, mate, you're always finding solutions. So I don't think we need anyone to give you at the moment. We'll reassess in summer. Right now, you keep coming up with these solutions. All of a sudden, Malang Sarr. If you're going to play Alonso on a predominant basis, maybe Malang Sarr can fit in for those odd moments where there needs to be some rotation. He's already filling in for Rudiger at times in the LCB. He's been very good. These 2 legs over against Spurs, he's been... We have to give credit where credit is due, ladies and gentlemen. Malang Sarr deserves his fruits, the flowers at the moment. I can understand why Chelsea's, and especially Thomas Tuchel and Malang Sarr, they're straying away from the Arsenal loan sort of conversation that's happening at the moment with Malang Sarr. I would have to keep him. I would. He's a decent backup and he's a good rotational player. But yeah, once again, let me know your thoughts on Malang Sarr. I want you to genuinely talk to me about Mason Mount. We need to see some development. And in a 4-2-2-2, I don't know where he plays. I really don't know where he plays. But I want to hear from you guys, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear from you guys. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Also subscribe and hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Till next time.